start with the question from Jeff.
When you had a chance to review the film of the game, what, if anything, struck you that maybe didn't occur to you in real time?
Nothing that I didn't know was on there really, but that one sucks just because our players really competed. We played our hearts out. They left it out there, which is what I asked. Just compete for 40 minutes. I thought we were really dominant in the first half. We just ran out of gas a little bit at the end, and we didn't really execute on either side of the ball, especially in those last huddles. So, it just slipped away from us at the end, but I thought we competed for 40 minutes. We obviously need to get a little bit more from our bench, but, the ones that were on the floor left it all out there, and I thought our bench gave great energy.
It looked like the press break worked really well when you got the ball to Odessa because they were, swarming over Mo the way they were. Was that something you changed in the fourth quarter to kind of get the ball to her and let her bring it up?
Yeah, obviously it was a pressure release situation. We changed press breakers twice in two of those huddles. So, but at the end we went to that last one where we were getting the ball to Odessa. But Duke really turned. That's an elite defensive team. One of the best in the country. They really turned on the press. At the end, it rattled us a little bit, and we were already kind of gassed. I thought we did what we could, and that was just an adjustment I needed to make just to make sure we got a pressure release in there and we can get the ball across half. And I thought we did a good job with that adjustment, but credit to Duke. They really put on pressure at the end.
Olivia's played a couple of really good games here. She's been improving. The shooting numbers are up. She's scoring a lot. What are you seeing, behind the scenes in practice in terms of her development, and how important is she moving forward?
Yeah, I think that she's in a good place. I think she's pretty confident right now. I think our team is, to be honest. And O plays the top of the zone really well. We've been playing some zone, and I think she's found success in that, and we've found success in that. And I think, once you find kind of your niche, it's easier to just be able to play free and confident. I think that's what she's doing.
Very familiar with Virginia Tech, playing them twice a year, but obviously some things have changed. Taking a look at them, what stands out about how they play now, and obviously they've gotten off to a pretty good start in ACC play.
Yeah, they're a different team than when Kenny was here and Amor and Kitley. Thank goodness we don't have to play against them, but I have a lot of respect for those players and love Kenny. That's a good friend of mine, and definitely respect what he's doing over there now in Kentucky. But I have a lot of respect for Megan Duffy too. I think she's a great coach. I think she's doing a great job in her first year at Virginia Tech. They're still a high-powered offensive team, still shoot the ball really well. She has a style of play offensively that forces you to be really locked in on defense. So I think, there's some similarities, completely different system, but some similarities in the way that they score the ball. And some of those kids were there, and then some of those kids have, like Wetzel is their leading scorer, and she has a lot of experience and was a part of a lot of winning. So they still have pieces there.
I know it was an overtime game, but they scored more than 100 in that one against Georgia Tech. Is that the product of a real up-tempo offense, or did they just have a great shooting night that night?
They had a great shooting night. I don't know exactly how many threes they hit, but they hit a lot of threes. Wetzel went off. I think she had like 5 or 6 threes, something like that. Maybe even yeah, I think it was 5 or 6. And so they, everybody kind of just shot it well. And then big kid inside, she went off on them and was able to get to her sweet spots. And so they just played really well offensively. They deserved that win for sure. They were clicking on all cylinders. And Georgia Tech is a great defensive team. So looking at that score before I watched the game, I was really surprised just because of Georgia Tech's defense. But Virginia Tech, after I watched the game, Virginia Tech really played well.
You brought up the zone earlier. I think after a game, one of the games earlier in the season, I asked you about having Latasha at the top of the zone. Now you got Olivia there. Did you just want to get Latasha closer to the basket for rebounding, or?
I think they both played well. O is just really good at it, number one. And two, Tosh is really good at covering corners and getting to the high post and rebounding down there. So it's just, you got to get the right people in the right seats on the bus. I think Tosh can still play the top at times if O goes out of the game, but I think she does a lot for us playing the bottom of the zone.
You talk about getting a lot more from your bench, and obviously this is an important stretch with this being ACC play. How do you balance that with, making sure they're in a good situation where they can help you be productive and, not putting them out there in a situation where they might cause more damage, if that makes more sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think, my philosophy is always be ready when your number's called. So we prepare them that way, and I think we just got to continue to get consistent and better in practice so that, we're better in games. So that goes for the bench, goes for the starters, it goes for everybody. And I think, confidence comes from preparation. So it's just all about practice. It's just about doing the little things in practice so that we have confidence when we get in the game.
Coach, there were a couple plays, I think it was the second quarter, where Mo drove baseline, found a three-point shooter. I think it was also a long pass across the court. But then also the kick out to Tosh, who then quickly passed it to O. When you see the offense humming like that, is that kind of the vision that you want your half-court sets to look like with the ball moving quickly around the perimeter like that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think, we're getting used to playing with each other a little bit more. Camaraderie's coming along. I think, obviously, we're getting better defensively. So now we're getting stops. It's helping our offense because we like to play fast and transition. But in the half courts, in our half court sets, we've been practicing and just understanding each other and where we need to give people the ball, give them the ball in places where they can be successful with it, or where shots are going to come up from, so we can have rebounding coverage. Just little things like that. So I just think it's a chemistry thing that's coming together a little bit more in practice, and we're seeing the carryover into games.
We talked about it a little bit earlier with the full court, breaking the full court press when Mo is obviously the dominant ball handler for your team. Opposing teams know that. They're going to try to deny her the ball, try to force her to give it up. What can you do to kind of counter that and take advantage of maybe the spacing that comes as a result of defenses paying her so much attention?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Mo is a big part of our offense. I mean, there's no secret to that. I think, she's doing a great job being a commanding presence at the point guard spot. They threw a lot of defenders on them, but they threw on her. I mean, and they threw number 5 on her as well, who's, arguably one of the best defenders in our conference, from Duke I'm talking about. And Mo handled it all with poise. I thought she had her head up the whole time. She was under control. She was picking them apart and just trying to find her spots to score, but also find her teammates. And I think that was just a lot of growth because Duke pressures the heck out of you, and you got to be able to be poised and under control. So I think she did great with that. Obviously, it's not like anybody was face guarding her. So if somebody's doing that, then obviously that opens up driving lanes. I think that's what you're getting at. But we do need to take advantage of when they put 2 people on her in ball screens, which she did. They would stay with a hedge, or even sometimes just stay longer, which looked a little bit like a trap. And she was able to hit the pop or hit her teammate in a timely spot. So you got to take advantage of that. They want to put 2 on her, then we got somebody else that needs to step up.
And then lastly, obviously pace of play, very important to you, taking those opportunities to get out and transition when you can. How have you seen this team develop in that facet of the game, just in terms of filling the lanes and being in the right spot as they're trying to take advantage of the fast break?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been up and down. We started out great, playing the pace that we want to play at, and I think we hit a little bit of a bad spot with that in non-conference play, and then we're kind of getting back to it. So we had to adjust some things in our transition break, so I think that's starting to carry over a little bit. But at the same time, we were, just talking about it as a staff, we still need to get better, So we're playing fast, but we still need to understand our lanes a little bit more and understand, just some of our options a little bit more. But I think, we're doing a really good job just getting up and down and putting that pressure on the defense, pressure for them to get back and guard right away. So I like the pace that we're at, but we still got to get better.
What can Latasha do to cut down on her turnovers?
Yeah, I mean, some of that is just not rushing. She's reading. She has to read progressions a little bit better, but she's, wants to get the ball and get right into a rip and drive or get right into whatever she's trying to do. And it's just being a little bit patient, reading a little bit better, possession first. But, we all got to get better at turnovers, like the whole team. I think that's been something that's plagued us all year. So it's not just Tosh. I think all of us, we just got to slow down in our mind a little bit and get possession first before we make our move or before we make the next pass.
Olivia is shooting lights out from the free throw line. She just doesn't get there very much. Is that a part of her game you think could develop where she gets fouled more and draws more fouls?
Yeah, you know, I
She's
mean,
8 for 9, I think.
yeah, O is obviously a great shooter, and I think she's flourishing there. But she has other parts of her game, and we always try to talk to her in practice about being aggressive and not settling. She's got to take those threes. We need her to take those threes, and especially open threes. But she has a great pull-up jumper, and she can get to the rim too. So it's just about her, you know, using all 3 levels of her game because she has it. And I think once she does that more, she'll get to the free throw line more.
Any other questions? All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.